If you're off here, and welcome everyone as we're diving into into our second series of the night, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Oceanborn we have our Polish Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Berserker Esports. It is PAPI. Let's go. And spawning in the top left hand corner we have the returning legend himself. We have been casting him recently, so if you haven't been watching the CranKy Ducklings, maybe you've been unaware, but he has been dipping his toes back into StarCraft over the past couple of months. I would say over the past 5-ish months, just under half a year, he has been dipping in every now and then. It is the blue Zerg player, currently teamless, Nerchio. Let's go. Also, a shout out to Mito in the chats, resubscribing with Twitch Prime as well for 4 months. Thank you, Papi, thank you. Do appreciate the support. Hope you're enjoying yourselves in the land of the Americas. Hope you're enjoying yourself. Okay, g'day, mate. It's Papi Lloyd. No, not quite. No. Different Papi, different Papi. But here we go. So again, just to quickly go over this, we actually casted Nerchio yesterday. We casted him yesterday. He was competing in ESL Open Cup Europe. So if you're interested, you can watch the VODs because we casted Nerchio in that tournament. But even so, we've been casting Nerchio for the past couple of months. Fun fact, I referred to the LAN event earlier. There was a LAN in Poland that we casted. It was actually organized by the people that organize these weeklies. This is the H.4.0.S Open Cup. If you don't know what House is, it's a LAN. It's a gaming bar. It's a gaming bar, so it's actually a venue. It's a place in Warsaw, in the capital of Poland, and people go there to host esports events, to drink, to get some food, to chill. You know, it's a nice, cozy place from what we've seen so far. And they have been hosting StarCraft events. They've been hosting StarCraft events on a seasonal basis. And there was an event they held back in February, just before IEM. Just before IEM, they held the event, and Nerchio went there. Nerchio was a part of that. It was great to see him return to the scene. It wasn't just Nerchio. There were a lot of returning players, like Dana. Dana was there, alongside a couple of others. It was really cool to see. They brought back, retired StarCraft players from, Heart of the Swarm, from Wings of Liberty, from early Legacy of the Void. They brought back some Polish legends, and of course they mixed them in with a Laser and Spirits and current pro players. So it's cool to see that Nerchio, after returning for that event, is still scratching that itch and is still competing. It's great to see. Not at the highest of level. Nerchio isn't full time. Don't get that twisted. He isn't full time, but he is part time. He's playing every now and then. You know, his interest has been grabbed once again by StarCraft. So it's great to see Nerchio returning in some form or fashion. I would not say that Nerchio is a favorite player for this tournament, not at all, but it's great to see him, and I wonder how he compares to PAPI. How does he compare? Yesterday we saw Nerchio take down Jomek, which is impressive. Jomek, he is an active pro player, and he brought him down 2-0. So Nerchio, he had a really good result, really good showing. But how does he compare to PAPI as we do shade into the main base? Drones are going down. We get 2 workers already. We get 2, we get a 3rd drone. Can we get a 4th? Not quite. Barely not the 4th drone, but this is still good damage dealt here by the first 2 adepts. And we're not done. We have the Oracle follow-up as well. PAPI skill checking Nerchio. Can you keep up with early game PvZ aggression with adepts, with oracles? Queens are in position. They are in position. 1 more drone goes down. Lings immediately counterattack. Good timing here by Nerchio. The goal here is to deny the 3rd. Adepts just fell. We just spent NG across the map, and this 3rd base, it may be cancelled. It's going to be close. There's 1 adept to hold. And it looks like we should force a cancel just in time. So very good counterattack here by Nerchio, flooding more Lings across the map. He's droning up behind this. But again, his goal here to deny the 3rd as often as possible. Oh, the wall! The wall is not a wall. PAPI doing his best hero impression. Probes, 1 worker goes down. We get a surround on an adept. Good damage dealt here, so we get a surround on another adept. Good trades here by Nerchio, slips into the main. Oracles once again spend their energy. We do have the Lings once again harassing here at that 3rd base. Can we force another cancel? We get 4 probes. Oh my god, 4 probes fall in the main. More energy spent. Adept goes down, and it looks like we don't have enough to cancel this base, but we have gotten a lot of value. Oh, 1 more adept falls. That's actually pretty insane. How many adepts in total? 7. 7 adepts, 5 probes for only a handful of lings. I mean, 22 isn't a handful, but we're trading minerals for gas. That's the thing. Minerals for gas here, worthwhile trade for Nerchio. Gets a pylon, gets another adept. So really good value and very important to take notes as he gets another probe. The Nerchio, he is droning up his third. He's getting his third base up and running. Fourth is now on the way. No tech yet, is what I will say. No lair. So the lair is quite delayed. If I want to be a little bit critical, is that Nerchio may be tunnel visioning a little bit too much here, but we should be teching up and should be getting in towards that mid game. Our Lings are going to be getting in once again. They want another probe. Oh, they get one. They get one. They get two. Oh my god. 2 more probes go down. Not like this. PAPI stuck at home recovering, but he's had enough defending. He's going to be harassing instead with his oracles. There is a spore in position. There's 1 queen. But we still get 5 drone kills in the blink of an eye. Again, a big reason as to why Nerchio had so many lings is because he's been skipping queens. The queen count of Nerchio is very low, and as a result, 8 drones go down. There's only 3 queens for Nerchio. Now 4, and now we're making a 4th and 5th queen, but this 4th and 5th queen are very delayed here because of the ling flood, and the oracles were able to punish that. We get 8 drone kills, the oracles are still alive, and we can still deal some more counter damage. So PAPI isn't out of this. He is not out of this yet. Likewise, because of the low queen count, there's only 1 active tumor. There's 1 active tumor here, 1 active tumor towards the right. So very limited crease spread here by Nerchio. We'll have to recover. Ooh, and the lair just now starts. It is a almost 7-minute lair here for Nerchio. Now without lair, that means they can't quite be active with roaches. It means that Nerchio is stuck at home. He's for the most part going to be stuck at home. Oracles, oh, they get 1 more drone before getting the hell out of there. And PAPI is free to tech up. And boy, is he taking up. We have the Robo finishing up. We have a Templar Archives on the way. Charge +1. We're building up quite heavily here on 3 bases. And Nerchio can't really do anything anymore. Now this base is fortified. We have Shield Battery, Cannon, Overcharge, Sim City, and soon to be a 4th. There it is. 4th is now on the way. Oh! Will be thrown down. Now Nerchio, he does get eyes on that 4th. He wants to deny. You can see he wants to deny that 4th base. He's making 16 roaches. That's a lot of roaches. But no roach speed. Remember, because of how late the lair was, late roach speed, and we are taking up heavily ourselves. Roach speed, Hydrogen, Infestation Pit, Bailey Nest, it's all been thrown down all at once. Nerchio is getting ready for a longer game. Whew. So, strap yourselves in. The chaos subsides for a moment, and we're getting into a longer game. I'm all for it. We get 2 more drone kills. We recall back home. Very nice control so far here out of PAPI. He has not lost a single one of his oracles. You can see how much value he's squeezed out of them. They're barely alive, but they're still alive. That's what matters. That's what matters most right now. As we're throwing down stasis traps, more cannons, more shield batteries, we are turtling up on 4 bases. And we are building up a death bull of an army. Now, this is very Christianer. This is a build or a playstyle that has been permeating throughout the Polish Protoss players, from Christianer to Ziomek to Geralt to PAPI to everyone. It's Charge Lot, Archon, Immortal Storm. Ooh, Bile does graze one of the High Templar. Big storms on the Bailings. Bailing speed is not done. Every Bailing goes down as they take the storms to the face. And the storms, they don't do much to the roaches, but they do enough. Yeah, we force back the army. A very efficient trade out of PAPI, but Nerchio, he may just overwhelm. Again, we're running out of High Templar. They're all morphed into Archons. No more storms remaining. PAPI is holding. But Nerchio, he's just hammering down that R key. He's just trying to break his opponent here and now with Mass Roach, as Nerchio is maxed out. Good target firing out of PAPI. He focuses down the Ravagers. The Biles! Ooh. Biles, they take down 2 of the Oracles. Good moves out of Nerchio. But he is down to 2 Ravagers. Overcharge is popped. And PAPI's holding. He's barely holding on. He needs a little bit more time. We need more Immortals. Immortals, Zealots, anything and everything. We're barely warping in. And again, Nerchio, he's just not pulling back. The production tab has been purely Lings and Roaches. This entire time, just Ling, Roach. Nerchio, he's pretty all in. Oh, he's just trying to break his opponent here and now. Doesn't want a longer game. Big storm here on the army. The reinforcements are coming in from behind. And again, it may still just be too much. Another storm on the Roach Ravager. 2 storms on the Ravagers. But the Lings are going to surround on the Immortal. 1 Immortal falls. There's no War Prism to juggle. And Nerchio, he has done it. He's broken through. Boys are being pulled. There's 1 Archon left. 0 Archons left. The army has to pull back for a moment. At the same time, a big Zealot counterattack. Bold move out of PAPI. Very bold move going for the Zealot run by. Does catch out some drones, and it drags Nerchio all the way back home. He's forced to respond, and this is giving PAPI some valuable time right now to rebuild. More Immortals, Archons. Again, I would love... There we go. Second Robo. PAPI trying to spend his resources here. Big warp into Zealots. I would like to see more sack defense to replace the cannons and shield batteries that we lost. As PAPI goes for another Zealot run by. He is spotted by Nerchio. Yeah, is going to be hunted down. And PAPI, he throws down 2 more Robos. Oh my god. But I mean, PAPI, he's holding, and he's on 83 probes. Like, he has a good economy, and now we're transitioning. Lurkers. Lurkers are now on the way for Nerchio. Second Hydrogen, I think by accident, but second Hydrogen, 2 Lurker Dens throw down. Nerchio maybe a little bit frazzled because he was not able to kill PAPI. And he should have, right? He was so close to breaking the Protoss. But PAPI survives, and now Nerchio, he's working towards Hive. So it's going to be Hydra Lurker Viper, most likely. That Nerchio is working towards. A pretty solid army composition. Meanwhile, the name of the game for PAPI, can we take a 5th? A 5th that is now covered in creep. He's going to try and expand here towards the left-hand side. Trying to take the linear 5th base. At the same time, Nerchio getting ready for his own run by, but the results in position. No shield battery. No shield battery. Get us around. We do warp in time. And as PAPI's being dragged over, we do have a second army catching the... Ooh, almost catching the High Templar. Almost. He's going for the base instead. A base that doesn't quite exist. Oh. So Nerchio, he's doing a good job at harassing, but leads out a couple of Roaches and Ravagers, and PAPI is maxing out. Like, a Protoss can max out on a 4-base economy, or even on a 3-base economy. So PAPI, he's closing the gap in supply. Remember, in the earlier defense, Nerchio, he had like an 80 supply lead. Like, he had a massive amount of Roach Ravager. But that supply lead, it's getting smaller and smaller. Like, PAPI is closing that gap. Moving out with his army. Catches out some Overlords. At the same time, Nerchio going for a counterattack, though. He ignores it. And he catches some Immortals. Gets 1, gets 2 Immortals for free. At the same time, Lurkers are caught out as well. Trading Lurkers for Immortals. Turn back around. Good storm on the Lings. At the same time, a Zealot run by runs into Roaches. Ooh, and PAPI, this is really risky. He's pushing deep onto creep. And he's going to get surrounded. Decent storms. We're still pushing in. And it's not going to happen. Too many reinforcements. Good storms, but we have to get the hell out of here. As Zealot gets caught out once again. And PAPI is racing back home. And what are we working towards? Sky Toss. Stargates have been thrown down. Fleet Beacon. PAPI takes his 5th base, and we're working on carriers. And now Nerchio is in a bit of trouble. Nerchio, he may have Lurkers, but carriers, they don't care about your Lurkers. Lurkers do not shoot up, and Nerchio has no idea. He's morphing most, if not all, of his Hydras into Lurkers right now. He's down to a handful of Hydras. Lings, they do get in. The Lings, they annihilate that mineral line. 16 probes go down. Oh my god. That was a lot of economic damage. PAPI caught out of position. And that's the difficult thing about this linear 5th base, is that it's very out of the way. It's very difficult to actually spread yourself and defend your natural, defend your 4th, defend your 5th. It's a lot more spread out. So we'll see if we can, as Nerchio is going for a big Lurker run by. We're waddling in. The Lunkers. Ooh, they do get eyes on the Cybercore. Carrier is revealed. Where's the detection? We do have it with the cannon. Just barely at the same time, Ling Rambai takes down the 5th base. We also have Zealots catching Hydras. Efficient trade for the Hydras, and look at how many Lurkers just went down. Oof, that was, what, 12 Lurkers? We caught 3 of them earlier. We defend the 5th! No shot. I didn't think we could. The 5th base is saved. Lurkers went down. And PAPI takes a supply lead. For the first time in a long time, the Protoss is up in supply. And Nerchio is in a lot of trouble. He's down to 5 Lurkers. And you can see that he's trying to remax on Hydra Viper. He was not ready for this. He was not ready for the carriers. And now Nerchio, he's struggling. And PAPI, he's maxed. He's at 200 supply. He has a death bull of an army. Look at all these Archons, Immortals, Storm, and Carrier. Even without the Carrier, this army is terrifying. And when PAPI decides to push, and he is pushing, I don't know if Nerchio can stop this. I don't know if he can stop this army. He needs more Lurkers. There are only 2 Carriers. Bearing in mind, only 2 Carriers, so more Lurkers is a good thing. We need more, as right now we're a little bit more fixated on Hydra. Spire is on the way. Now, PAPI, he's waiting a little bit longer, waiting for an extra wave of carriers, so he's giving Nerchio time. And Nerchio is catching up in supply. You can see here, he's slowly catching up, producing more Hydras, more Vipers. PAPI, he's missing his window a little bit here. Only a little bit, though, as the armies are about to clash. We do catch the Interceptors. They're stuck on the rocks. No! The Interceptors, they're stuck attacking the rocks, and so many of them go down for free. Oof. That was a lot of lost minerals for nothing. But it may not matter as we outposition the army. We force field the ramp. Nerchio is stuck on the other side of the rocks, and his bases are falling. And we can always recall. We can always recall back home. We lose 1 base. We're going for the natural. Nerchio, he's running back home. Can he make it? Ooh, 2 storms. A little bit trigger happy there. We have to retain those storms. We can't waste them. We oink 1 of the carriers. Ooh, the feedbacks though. That's the only yoink, the only abduct. As we're breaking through big storms here on the Lurkers. What about the Hydras now? We have plenty of storms available. Yes, storms raining down on the army. And you can see PAPI get out of control. It's just too much. GG gets called, and PAPI takes game number 1. Whew. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, Nerchio, he did well for himself early on, and to be honest, he almost broke PAPI. Let's be real. Remember, when Nerchio got up to 73 drones, when he got up to 5 bases, he was just making nothing but roachling, and he almost broke the Protoss. He almost broke PAPI. Almost, but not quite, as PAPI, he barely held on by the skin of his teeth, and after that hold, PAPI got out of control. Then he was able to hit his stride, be active on the map, amass a terrifying army, get into Skytoss at least a little bit. Remember, the Skytoss was unscouted, and the pendulum swung in favor of the Protoss when Nerchio went for his Lurker move out. Remember, he threw away so many Lurkers when he ran into those carriers, and likewise, he threw away so many Lings, and he didn't kill the 5th base. That was the moment when PAPI was in control. And he never let go of it. With that, GG, game 1, it goes the way of PAPI. But now we're getting into game 2. Getting into game number 2, and we'll see if we can force an ace match, or if PAPI does take it and advance on into the semis. But so good below pro level. I mean, this is pro level. Like, we've seen PAPI take down a laser, like a couple of weeks ago. I say a couple of weeks ago. Sorry. A couple of editions ago, we had a finals between PAPI and a laser, and it went all the way to game 5. It was really cool to see PAPI and a laser trade blows and go back and forth. So, I mean, hey, we've seen PAPI take it to some of the best Zergs that Europe has to offer. As I would say, a laser is like, what? Top 3? Top 4? Depending on how you want to rank him. Just under Raynor and Serral. But here we go, we're getting into game number 2 and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Solaris. We have the red Protoss player representing Berserker Esports, leading the series 1-0. It is PAPI. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the ex-player. I was going to say the ex-pro. The ex-player, the returning legend himself, representing himself. It is Nerchio. The H.4.0.S. It's interesting that foreign hope isn't really a phrase used anymore. I guess because foreigners aren't as well, they're a little bit more dominant nowadays than they once were. But yeah, back in the day, back in Nerchio's heyday, it was the Koreans that were far more dominant in general. That was back when Kespa was around and Koreans were full-time and they were thriving. And there were only a handful of foreigners that could really keep up with them. Nerchio was one of them, Scarlet, Bunny. When I say Bunny, I'm referring to the Danish player, the Danish Terran player, Bunny. Nee back in the day, Snoots. Remember Snoots? Yo, I miss him sometimes. That was back in the day of the quote-unquote foreign hopes. Stefano, of course, he had his time as well. But yeah, that kind of foreign hope concept isn't really a thing anymore. Just again because of the rise of Serral and the rise of foreigner players, the fall of Koreans. It's interesting. I'm sure there's a lot of people listening right now that, I mean, even the term foreigner, I feel like has died off a little bit, right? It's like that used to be what we used to call players outside of Korea, and yeah, nowadays I feel like you don't see that term used anymore, or nowhere near as much. That's crazy. Crazy how time flies and, like, in general, StarCraft has changed. Crazy. Crazy, PAPI. As we're getting into game number 2. For now, going to be a Stargate opener. Stargate here at a PAPI. Should be for an Oracle-based opener once again. Meanwhile, Nerchio chilling back at home, going for a hatch gas pool, going for the unnatural natural here at the third base location. Forced to be a little bit more uncomfortable early on. But we have noticed that Nerchio has been really enjoying, he's been enjoyed being really Ling heavy early on. We saw last game, Nerchio, he was doing so much in the early to mid game. He denied the third base twice. And he got into the natural, he was killing probes, he was killing pylons, killing adepts. Like, the early game Ling aggression from Nerchio was insane. Nerchio was doing so well for himself. But, PAPI did stabilize. PAPI was able to stabilize over time. And the early game advantages that Nerchio had didn't really matter anymore. They weren't enough to really keep him going. So we'll see how Nerchio adapts. We'll see if he does cut his lings and he's more queen heavy, drones up more. I am curious. I bring this up just because yesterday when we casted Nerchio in ESL Open Cup, he was the same. He was very ling heavy early on. As ZvP shade in, they get one drone. Did I say one? Ooh, they get two, they get three. They gotta get a fourth and a fifth. This is too much. This is getting out of control. This is getting out of hand as so many drones are falling to the first two adepts. Lings out of position. 14 Lings on the way. We get 8 drone kills. Ay, ay, ay. And we're not done. Here comes the Oracle to clean up. 10, 11 workers. 12 workers go down. For 2 adepts. 12 workers, 5 Lings. That is borderline game-ending damage. That is brutal. Nerchio did make a bunch of Lings, and he's going for a big counterattack. He needs to do some counter damage here. He needs to deny this third. He needs something to go his way, and he will deny the Nexus. Is going to be cancelled. Gets an Adept, and gets the Lings. Ooh, kills the Oracle. Okay, okay. Nerchio. I see you, PAPI. I see you. Okay. We're bouncing back a little bit. Now, we still lost a lot of workers, and that was a cancel, not a kill on the Nexus. But, I mean, if we can cancel it again, we gotta surround, we gotta kill the Adepts. It can't, oh, but there's the second Adept shading in. Oracle to support. We barely get the Adept to get a probe as well, but we will not cancel the base. PAPI, I would say, still has a lead, and he extends that lead even further here. Second Oracle moves out, 5 more drones go down. Not like this. Again, we only have the 1 spore in the main base. How many queens do we have? Only 3 queens. We spoke about this in game 1, how Nerchio has been very light on queens. That's why he's been able to afford all these lings. But because of the lack of queens, the oracles, they've been wreaking havoc. And now we're throwing down spores. But now it's too late. Like, we've already killed the drones. And I would say more than anything, these spores are hurting Nerchio a little bit more. As you have to reinvest, we lose 2 more drones because we made 2 more spores. And it's on Nerchio to recover. It's on Nerchio to drone up as best he can, take his gases and minimize his losses. PAPI is still on 3 oracles. Oh boy. Which means we can ignore a spore. How many queens do we have? 3. We still only have 1 queen for each base. Oh boy. Yeah, we catch the 4th. And it looks like we do have enough DPS to potentially force a cancel. Queens are waddling over. The queens are on the way. It's going to be close. It's going to be cancelled. Unless we run out of energy. We run out with 1 oracle. Oh, it's so close. We force the cancel in the end. Big catch there by PAPI. Cancels the hatchery. Back at home, we're working towards Blink and +1. A standard transition out of our Protoss player. Meanwhile, Nerchio back at home, getting into his own Hydras, getting into Banelings. Okay, interesting. So it's going to be Lingbane Hydra out of Nerchio instead of Roach Ravager. Interesting choice. I mean, with this can be ideal against Blink Stalkers specifically. But it's going to take a while to really get going. And the army's here, and PAPI, he already cancelled it once, and now he can cancel it again. It's snowballing out of control. The dominoes, they've been starting to fall one after the other. Oracles, they bust into the natural. We cancel it. That was a kill. That was a kill, not a cancel. 300 minerals down the drain. Big loss there for Nerchio. He's gonna get us around, and he will force a cancel across the map, but denying the 4th, it's not the same as losing your own 4th. As a Zerg player, is not the same. Nerchio takes a big loss there. And I would not be surprised if he just goes all in from here. If he gets a 4th base, it may just be for Larva, and he may just stay on 66 workers, just mass up Ling Hydra, and just send it. At this point, that may just be all we can do. Oh no. As we are retaking that base. Oracles, they barely don't spot it, thankfully. So Nerchio, he's going to be able to try to get this base up and running. Stalkers are repositioning once again. PAPI, he just checked the northern base so that it wasn't taken. Now he's checking the center base. Now he's making his way over towards the 4th. Nerchio, though, this time he's in position. The Hydras, though, they're so exposed. Okay, we have to be careful. Adepts, they do manage to harass across the map. Hydras. Oh, massive stasis trap. Aye. We can dive on this, and we will. The Hydras, they're so exposed. They're going to be hunted down one after the other. PAPI. Yeah, that's another kill on the hatchery, and things are looking bleaker and bleaker here for Nerchio. Loses 10 drones here to the Adept harass. Stasis trap does run out, but he is denied the 4th time and time again. And this time, PAPI, he takes his own 4th. He's up at base. He's on his 4-base setup. Storm is on the way. Now, that's the big thing that we're missing here. Splash damage. Specifically against Ling Hydra, we need Disruptors, or Colossus, or Storm. Pick your poison. You know, either one. We need some kind of splash damage here for the army, and PAPI, his choice is Storm, but he needs time. He needs time to get into Storm, and we have rushed into Lurkers, by the way. These are 0-0 Hydras, 0 upgrades here for Nerchio. He's all in completely. The Spine Shots. Big Spine Shots here on the Stalkers. Revelation just now does connect here on those Lurkers, though. They are spotted. Like, this is Nerchio's time to shine. He can still pull this off. He's just all in. Oh my god. He's just all in here. Slowly laying siege upon this 4th. Now, what I will say is that this 4th doesn't matter. We don't need to hold on to it. As Nerchio is all in on 3 bases. We blink on forward. We dive on the Stalkers. Take some big spines to the face. Oh my god. Expensive losses here for PAPI. Losing every single Stalker. That blink was not it. And Nerchio, have we done it? We have broken the base. Again, PAPI a little bit too cavalier. A little bit too excited there. Blinked on the army. Loses everything. And Nerchio, we gotta keep going. We have to keep pushing. Again, there's no turning back. We lost so many Stalkers. If we still had the Stalker army, we can defend 100%. We could clean this up, but not anymore. PAPI trying to take the southern base instead. They're looking to get eyes on it. Charge is done. Immortals are coming out. Ooh, and it looks like with the help of the Immortals, yeah, we're breaking through. We are breaking through this. The power of the Immortal. We clean up every single lurker. PAPI holds. He does hold. Did lose his 4th base. Nerchio just now getting his own 4th up and running. Fun fact, Nerchio hasn't been droning. It is getting saturated, but that's just workers transferring over. It's just Nerchio running out of mineral patches in the main base. He just rotates over towards the 4th. Nerchio is still 3 base all in. And PAPI, he's on 83 probes, but he's not mining. He's long distance mining. PAPI needs a little bit more time. The longer this goes on, the better it is for PAPI. Like Nerchio, we have to end it here and now, and he's going for the 4th base once again. He does spot it, and he will force a cancel. Yeah, PAPI is out of position. Cancels the 4th. Nerchio, he's a little bit split up. He has to be very careful here. Ling round by runs into an Archon. Ooh, Lings are going to be cleaned up. Shield batteries are finishing up as well. PAPI did double expand. Nerchio, he denied 1/4, but can he deny the other? Lurkers do burrow. We need detection. Observer a little bit too far back. We get the revelation off. Yeah, big storm here. Oh my god. The storms on the Hydra, storms on the lurkers. We clean up the lurkers once again. And PAPI, he reclaims his 4th. And now that he's on 4 bases, now he can mine and make use of his 80 workers. And Nerchio is in trouble. He made this close though. Big shout out to Nerchio. He made it close. He almost broke PAPI at the 4th base earlier. Almost did break him. Now Nerchio, he's droning. He's saturating. He has +1 range. Let's go. Nerchio, can we survive the counterattack? And can we stabilize and get into Hive Tech? Can we stabilize? As we're working on a 5th. Uh-oh. Yeah, 5th base soon to be taken here by PAPI. We have the Infestation Bit on the way. That's going to be for the eventual Hive. Meanwhile, we still only have +1 range. We should be working on +2 momentarily. The Oracle does overextend. It's like a lurker was harassing. 5th base on the way for Nerchio. The game is settling, but as I did mention earlier, the longer this goes on, the better it is for the Protoss. As you can see, PAPI is about to max out. He's about to max out. Nerchio, he needs to catch the army off guard, or, I mean, he does spot it with the Changeling. Zealots say, do force a kill, not a cancel in the 5th. Ooh, lurkers are getting caught. We get 1, we get 2. 2 lurkers go down. We're going for the base trade. We have Zealots hitting the 3rd. PAPI going straight for the kills, straight for the natural. And remember, PAPI can recall. PAPI, he can always recall back home. Here come the lurkers. They're going for the High Templar. We get the storms. Big spine shots. High Templar go down. But 1 High Templar survives. We have 1 storm left. GG gets called. And PAPI, he will take the series 2-0. Advancing on to the semifinals. GG. GG, well played here as PAPI does take it. Big shout out to Nerchio as he almost bounced back. There was a chance there when he was all in where he almost broke the back of PAPI. Almost. You can actually see it here in the graph. Hold on. You can see PAPI's the red line, by the way. You can see PAPI plummet. That red line plummeting, that is when he blinked forward with his stalkers. That's when he lost all of his stalkers trying to kill the lurkers. So Nerchio, he almost pulled it off there and then. But that was his only chance, essentially, and did pass him by. PAPI barely held. GG. Well played. Well played. Congratulations here to PAPI, and now we find ourselves in another series. Oh my god, but no breathing room. No room to breathe.